the rectangular coordinate system. Okay, now I'm going to read through some of these. We've got a horizontal axis called the x-axis, a vertical axis called the y-axis. Okay, let's make it a bit clearer. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. Okay, that's the y-axis. Okay, so let's have a look at the quadrants here. The quadrants are as follows. Quadrant 1 is here, okay, right there. Okay. Now, we always tend to use quadrant 1 in real life situations just like that. It's just this bit here, okay? Things like, if I put that as time and that as dollars, money, okay? So think about it. As time goes by, our wage keeps increasing, things like that. So that was why we use real life situations where as time increases, our wage increases, we use quadrant 1. Okay. And then we go counterclockwise, okay? Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, 3, 4, okay? Now, any point within these quadrants, okay, can be identified by an ordered pair. An ordered pair is an x first, y second coordinate, okay? So what's the x coordinate and the y coordinate? That creates an ordered pair, and that's a point anywhere in these quadrants. So if I start, say, put a point right here, okay? Look at this. Okay? Right, I can see I've gone 1 along the x-axis. Okay, let's get some arrows. I've gone 1. Now, oh, by the way, I should have mentioned this point in the middle. This is the origin, and it does say up here, coin the origin. The 0 value is a point called the origin. Okay? So, right there's the origin. From the origin, 0, 0. Maybe I should write that. Okay? In fact, I think I will do. Right, the origin right there is the ordered pair. I'll put an arrow. That's the ordered pair 0, 0. Okay? No x, no y. So this one here, okay, remember this here, I've gone 1 along the x-axis, 2 up the y-axis. So this ordered pair here is 1, 2. Okay? That's it. So from the origin I went 1 along the x-axis and 2 up the y-axis to get to it. So let's have a look at something somewhere else, another one. How about something up about here? All right, how about that one? There. Now, remember, x first, y second. So it looks to me like I've gone -1, -2 on the x-axis. Is that right? -2 on the x-axis, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 up the y-axis. So -2, 4, -2, 4 is that point right there. -2 on the x and 4 up the y. Okay. Now let's have a look at some of these. Can you see that quadrant 1? Quadrant 1, everything is positive. That's why we use it in the real world kind of thing. Okay, like that money one. Time increasing. We're not going negative time. We're not travelling back in time. We're not getting negative money. Okay. So, you know, in the real life, a lot of real life situations, it's just quadrant 1. Now, quadrant 1, everything's positive. Okay. Positive x's along to the right. Positive y's up, straight up, okay? Now can you see quadrant 2? And you can see it here. Quadrant 2 has negative x's and positive y's. It's still up here in the y's, positive y's, but it's gone to the left down the number line to the negative x's. So again, if I do another point, let's call it here. What about this one here? Can you see this is -3 along the x-axis and -1 down the y-axis, okay? So that's the point -3, -1. Everything in quadrant 3 is negative. Okay? Negative along the x-axis and negative down the y. Finally, quadrant 4. Well, I can see I'm coming positive along the x-axis, but I'm still negative down the y-axis. Let's just put a point. Let's just make one up. So I'll put it there. I'll put a point right here. Okay? That point there is 1, 2 along the x-axis and -2 down the y-axis. Okay? So there you go. There's some points in each quadrant showing you positive and negative. Okay. Now, if I wanted to, I'd bring something like this. Here's a nice piece of graph paper and just do that. You know, in other words, okay, folks, what is that point right there? Okay. Well, it is, he says, getting his arrow. It's 1, 2, 3 along the x. Is that right? 3 along the x and 6 up the y. So that point is, I don't know how this pen's going to work very well, but it's 3. Very blocky. 6, okay, 3, 6 for that point right there. And just one more, guys. Let's have a look at this. How about... Ooh, I'll pick something. How about that there? Right there, okay? Right, I can see I've gone 7 along the y-axis. Okay, yeah, 7. And then -3 down the y... Sorry, did I just say 7 along the x-axis? Okay. 7 along the x-axis. -3, is that right? -3, just read across down the y-axis. So I'd put comma -3, okay? All these in parentheses. So it's things like that. You know, you kind of have to look and go, so think to yourself, right, positive along the x, positive up the y, am I going negative on the x, am I going negative down the y? You know, just think to yourself, what's the ordered pair, what's the xy coordinate for the point I put on there? And finally, okay, so I've done that bit. Look at this. Now this is just me saying, okay, this is back to that temperature and altitude one, but it hasn't got the line in. If I join the lines up, I would go, remember this? It went there, it went down, it went, see, now I'm just joining them together now. Remember this is what we had, then it went up and recognise that? But these points here, you know, something like that one, these are just points, ordered pairs, okay, to create the graph. You kind of join the lines together, ordered pairs, okay? So if I pick this one here, that one there, okay? In fact, I think it is down here. It's the question. What is the practical meaning of this point? 150 on the x, 345 up the y. This is saying to me at 150 kilometers in altitude, the temperature is 345, okay? The x coordinate, the y coordinate, okay? Whether there's any more on that you need to know, let's have a look. All of these, they're just points, they're just large points. I mean, that's why some of these numbers are big. Oh, quadrants. Which quadrant is 20, -56? Where's 20, -56? 20, -56. Here it is, 20, -56, okay? Remember, that is in quadrant 4. Remember, here we go. So again, up here, should be quadrant 1. Okay, over here, 2, counterclockwise, 3, and 4. Okay, so there we go. Plotting some points and what quadrants they're in.